Welcome into the PHNX pregame show brought to you by our friends at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you know whenever we are live. I'm Lindsey here with Saul.
Hello.
Welcome back, Saul. It's been a minute.
It's been a little bit.
How you doing?
You guys have had a lot of fun without me.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Not a lot, though. I mean, the Suns did drop a few games. So.
Yeah, but at least the Bucks game was really, really fun.
It was a good game.
It was a good game. I was proud of my boys.
You should have jumped on. I feel like it would have been a solid night to have Saul.
I thought about it, but I just got off the airplane, and I was like, no.
You're like, I'm dragging.
I
don't have any business being on this show right now. But we're good. We're glad to have you back, especially since we're down Espo now.
Yeah, his sickness is our gain. So here we go.
There you go. It'll be a fun night. Saul and I will hold it down for you. Gerald, of course, is in Orlando, so hopefully he'll be joining us post-game with some updates from Coach Monty and the players. And yeah, I forgot to say it off the top, but the Suns are in Orlando. As you know, they're taking on the Magic tonight. This is a winnable game for the Suns.
Do you believe in magic?
Sometimes.
Do you really?
Sure, why not?
What do you mean sometimes? You either believe it or you don't.
Well, define magic, I guess.
Like, the illusion of mystery. Is that not it?
like are you talking like magic tricks or magic shows? Then no, that's all like illusion.
Then what magic are you referring to?
Like if you're thinking like legit magic, like earthly magic.
Like when you met your husband for the first time magic?
Like when Mother Nature does something really cool and people are like, that's magical. Like I don't know. Do you believe in magic? Stop asking me such crazy questions off the top. I'm not prepared for this.
Okay. All right. My bad.
I'm just kidding.
Espo's completely lost, and he's back home right now, and he has the Phoenix Sports YouTube handle. So
that's Espo?
Troll McGee is over here. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Espo in the chat.
It took him 5 seconds to troll me once I returned.
Are you surprised?
No.
I feel like he missed you, and that's why.
It just ratchets up my anger towards him. It's just not unusual.
Maybe it's a good thing that your first show back, Espo's out.
I do like I do believe in magic, but I do not believe in the Orlando Magic. But there we go.
You're welcome.
Suns by 50.
Yeah, definitely a winnable game for the Suns, especially after the performance we got on Sunday night against the Milwaukee Bucks. That exceeded everyone's expectations, I think, for that game in particular. The way that this team came together, rallied for one another, and the energy and the effort that they put out there during that game was phenomenal. If they can come with even half of that tonight against this team, it's a shoo-in win.
And that's the tricky part right here is that you're playing a below average team.
Right.
And you know that if you don't come to play, this could be a tricky game. Mm-hmm. You could lose this game if you don't come ready to play. So, Monty said this, in the press conference just a few minutes ago that they're excited. They had a good practice this morning. They looked fresh. They looked energized. They looked ready to go. They also understand that they got a Miami Heat team that's going to be very tough to beat tomorrow, who absolutely waxed them the first time around. So they've got a pretty tough back-to-back here in Florida, but I expect them to handle business.
I agree. And since with all these injuries, we've had a couple guys kind of step up really well. Obviously, Cam Johnson in his career game. Cam Payne has had a combined 40 points and 24 assists in the last 2 games, which is really impressive considering how he just returned from injury. They kind of threw him into the fire, had to play him more minutes than probably they would have liked to have as far as easing him back into everything. And he's just still working on getting his legs underneath him. I don't think that we could have asked for more from Cam Payne in this return, given the circumstances.
Absolutely not. And kind of goes back to my previous point about being ready to play the Orlando Magic. The benefit of Cam Payne knowing that Chris Paul was going to be out for a couple months, even when he was still a few games from returning, your mindset immediately changes to I'm not the backup anymore. As soon as I come back, I'm the guy at that point. And so you gotta come ready to go. And this team was hoping that he would come out like he did. He's played very, very well, and he's still a little bit rusty, but he'll work it out. And listen, Cam's one of my favorite players anyway. So,
there's so many players on this team that I feel like any given night could be your quote unquote favorite player because they just have so many good personalities on the team.
DA is always my favorite one. Or are you talking about just in general?
Just in general.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
I mean, no,
like,
just in general. Like you got guys like Book, CP3, DA, True. Cam Johnson, Mikal, Jay, Campaign. Like you go down the list, there's at least 90% of this team could be somebody's favorite player easily.
They're a bunch of lovable guys.
They really are.
They play hard. They play the game the right way. They play as a team. What's not to love? Nothing.
All right, and then this one, I hope I don't jinx it, so I'm going to knock on wood. But since the All-Star break, Jay Crowder, he's averaging 15.5 points. He's shooting 52.7 from the field, 47.1 from deep, 5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 2.3 steals. So he's stepped up to the plate as well and put together some really good performances for the Suns, the shorthanded Suns. And hopefully he can continue to do that. I know Jay sometimes is a little bit streaky, but I also do think Jay has the mental strength to understand like when he really needs to step up to the plate.
No, I agree with that. And the playoffs was a little bit different just because, I do feel like he kind of goes through these peaks and valleys. He does. It's not even debatable. But in this stretch, because of how important his role is, because of the limited players that they have, he has absolutely stepped up, and that's been great to see.
Yeah. Okay, so per Thrill of the Chase on Twitter, as it stands right now, the Suns' magic number is 10. Mm-hmm. They have 18 games remaining. Seems very doable from the win side of things, regardless of what the Warriors and the Grizzlies do from here on out.
Yeah.
Both those teams are also 8 games back, just FYI.
For sure. So that means 18 games left. If the Warriors and the Grizz went undefeated for the rest of the year, which won't happen, the Suns would have to win 10 games to secure the 1 seed. Any combination of Suns wins and or Grizzlies, Warriors losses takes a number off of that 10, and it gets the Suns 1 game closer, or 1 digit closer, if you will, to a 1 seed. So the Suns are in a great position right now. I would anticipate by 6-7 games left to go in the season, they'll have locked up the 1 seed, which is phenomenal. I mean, that's like 2 weeks basically of just trying to play the games to get to the end. So you can rest guys. You don't have to go really hard, but at the same time, you just never know what's on the line at that point either. We had kind of teased, like, man, could they get to 70? But once Chris Paul got hurt, you kind of felt like, all right, it's probably enough to apply. Then Devin Booker got hurt, or Devin Booker got sick. So that's definitely out of the window. I don't even think mathematically they don't even have a chance of that. But they do have a chance at 60. They do have a chance at maybe possibly breaking the franchise record for most wins in a season. So, and I think that's kind of where their eyes are set. And I feel like they're going to get there.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the number 1 seed goes, I would be shocked if the Suns weren't able to secure it, given just the situation at hand, that 10-game magic number. Like, that is so achievable on both sides. Like, the Grizzlies and the Warriors are not going to go undefeated for the rest of the season. And with 18 games left for the Suns, 10 wins, even without Chris Paul, and however long it takes for Devin to come back, still easily doable. Especially with the schedule that we have remaining, it's not overly difficult.
No, for sure. Hey, listen, we talked about the 24-game stretch after the All-Star game being relatively easy. And this is basically the roughest stretch that they're going to have. Milwaukee, Orlando, nice little cream puff sandwich in between. And then you have the Heat. And then after that, I mean, you got the Warriors on the 30th.
After that, yeah.
And that's about it.
You've got Toronto, Lakers, New Orleans, Houston, Chicago, Sacramento, Minnesota, Denver, Philadelphia, Golden State, Memphis, OKC, Lakers again, Clippers, Utah, Sacramento.
Yeah, Philly and Chicago are probably the 2 teams that you kind of circle as outside of the ones that I just mentioned. So, I mean, 4 games against some really tough competition.
And then there's 4 additional games of wiggle room, basically.
Exactly. So yeah, they'll be fine.
Yeah. All right, let's get into tonight's injury report to kind of break this down a little bit more for you guys. On the Sun side of things, of course, still without Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and Cam Johnson. On the Magic side of things, Jalen Suggs, who was questionable coming into tonight's game, is out. Jonathan Isaac is out, and Bol Bol is out. Bol had surgery, so he'll probably miss a decent amount of time. But I feel like not too bad on the injury side of things, all things considered. how long some of these lists have been over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
One thing that I did think was really interesting was our guy Flex from Jersey actually tweeted out earlier today that Devin, according to his sources, Devin has cleared health and safety protocol, and Flex fully expects him to play tomorrow in Miami. I don't have any confirmation on this.
Yeah,
I would
nobody
hope
asked
that is
Monty
the
about
true.
that,
Yeah, maybe we'll send Gerald a text and see if he's able to follow up with Monty on that after the game. Now that I'm guessing the mindset is focus on one game at a time because Monty likes to do that, of course. So maybe after tonight's game, he'll be able to get some insight from Monty on that one to see how Devin has progressed. If that is the case, if Devin has cleared health and safety protocols, do you think he should fly out to Miami for tomorrow's game?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you owe those dudes. Oh yeah, you owe those dudes. And Booker knows that too. He's like, man, those dudes came to our house and absolutely torched us.
Yeah.
Nah, we're not going to let them feel good about if they have to play us in the finals. So let me go out there and send a message on South Beach.
Yes.
That's just how it's
I also saw some people on Twitter today being like, why it doesn't seem smart to send Devin out there flying commercial, and somebody else was like, there's a $386 flight on such and such airline right now. And I was like, if there's one person on this entire planet that Robert Sarver will open up the pocketbooks for no matter what, it is Devin Booker. He will roll out the red carpet for that guy.
First of all, my man is worth over $150 million. He's got a girlfriend / fiance / wife. I don't even know what she is right now.
Wait. I'm sorry. There are rumors about this?
Yeah. Have you not seen those rumors?
No.
Like they secretly got married during the All-Star break?
What?
Did you not see this?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently
like people were like zooming in because Booker was wearing a ring. And they were like, oh my God, that's a wedding band. That's got to be a wedding. Like, have you, for real?
For real. Break this down
Did
for
I just
me.
break this down to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me all the
like
scoops.
all
I
the Snoops out there were like trying to put this together. And they're like, I think they secretly got married and all this other stuff.
Where were they for All-Star? Did that ever come out?
I don't know. Remember, it was like they were like in the woods. I think they were in like New York.
Dude,
in the woods.
Legit don't know any of this.
What? Yeah. Anyway.
Clearly now that Devin's dating a Kendall
Jenner.
I was going to say a Kardashian, but just...
You were going to say Kendall Booker, weren't you?
No, I was going to say a Kardashian, but Kendall's not a Kardashian, technically. Maybe I need to start following like E-News or some of those sites. I don't have any of those sites.
It's not confirmed that it happened, but like people are trying to piece this together. Like, oh, it did happen. Look at this.
Okay, June in the comments said I've never heard of this either.
Yeah. So yeah. But,
I follow kind of for the sole purpose of seeing the engagement announcement. That's fantastic.
But yeah, so I mean, she's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Ain't nobody flying commercial to Miami.
No,
no way.
No.
So.
I just thought that was hilarious that people were arguing with each other back and forth on Twitter about Devin flying commercial to go play in Miami and how that might not be safe.
In the post-game show, we will find some social media posts about this whole thing, and we'll talk about it post-game.
B said, I'm sorry, Saul breaking Jenner news to Lindsey was not something I expected to see today.
There we go, baby.
But that's because I think you think I'm a woman, so naturally I would be more in the loop on that. That is Saul's wheelhouse, though.
Oh, I love that shit.
You got that completely covered for all of us. Like none of us need to be in the loop on that because Saul's got it handled.
It's because I learned from Johnny Venerable, who is the king of all sleuths on social media.
Sunders Dunk said, yeah, the bingo card didn't have that. Where's our bingo cards, by the way? Were you supposed to be working on that?
I know, but I got to find some type of website or something that can change them up, because they would just be the same every single time and everybody would have the same card. And I don't want to, everybody's got to have different cards.
Yeah. So you just come up with the
I'm not writing that shit out 15 different
topics.
times.
Yeah. And then you just move the pieces around.
I know, but I'm not moving the pieces around by hand.
So we have an intern. That's a great project. They're learning their Photoshop skills.
There we go.
They're putting their creative juices to work and like understanding our shows.
I got you.
This is a really good project for an intern, I think.
See, Giselle knows that was actually New Year's Eve when that came out. I told you.
Oh, so that was New Year's Eve, though?
My bad. Yeah,
so
New
then
Year's
that
Eve.
was a long time ago.
Yeah, but it was in like New York because they were on the East Coast, and then they went to like a cabin in the woods.
Okay, this I feel like I remember.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the engagement and the secret wedding stuff.
I swear that's where the birthplace of Gerald's fire photo came from. It's probably Booker posing by the fire.
If they secretly got married and they have been able to keep it under wraps for this long, I would be so impressed.
That would be pretty dope.
That's not something easy to do when you are at the celebrity stature that both of them are at.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sure.
back to the game.
Yeah.
Let's take a look and see what our friends over at the DraftKings Sportsbook app think about tonight's game. So, Saul, break this one down for us.
Yeah, Suns by 6.5. Obviously a couple points goes to the home team. So, I mean, they feel like the Suns should win this game fairly easily, and they should be in control. I think it's going to be a tough game in the first half. Third quarter, it'll be back and forth. And then in the fourth quarter, the Suns will kind of flex a little bit. It'll still be close, I think, with about 5 minutes left to go, and then they'll pull away a little bit.
Okay, so let's go into our picks. You think it'll be close? How close at the end of this one?
I think the Suns will win by 5.
By 5? Okay.
Yep.
I've got Suns by 6. So we're kind of right there with each other. And we've got Espo Suns by 4. Gerald has Magic by 20.4 million.
20.4 million. Is that how many visitors? Is that how many visitors frequent Disney World every year?
Every year.
Boom!
Heyo.
Let's go.
Spoken like a man who had his wedding at Disney World.
I did have my wedding at Disney World. I'm full of fun facts when it comes to the magical place on Earth.
You had all of the information. I feel like you had the leg up on understanding that one for sure. I'm usually really terrible at these guesses.
Yeah.
And they're like those odd ones out. I rarely ever get them. Fabio has Suns by 11. Beast said I'm taking the over. I do think this game, like we said at the top, it's an absolutely winnable game for the Suns. There's no reason they should drop this one tonight. I know a couple of areas of emphasis for this team are going to be rebounding. We talked about it on Sunday. We talked about it on Friday. Like, we've been talking about it for a hot minute now. Deandre Ayton addressed it after the game on Sunday, said it's something he needs to put in a little bit more work and energy into. Coach talked about it today before or during his pregame presser. As a team, they have all addressed it amongst themselves. They are very aware of it. And Monty said, hopefully now that we've addressed it again and really brought it to the forefront of our conversations, hopefully we will see an adjustment tonight. Obviously, the Orlando Magic aren't known necessarily as a top rebounding team, so it's a good team to kind of launch yourself off of in that area.
Yeah, but I mean, again, these teams that only have, 16, 15 wins, they're scrappy.
Yeah,
they're scrappy
totally.
because they got to do that just to stay in games and try to compete in the fourth quarter. So, this is not going to be any different. You still got some guys on that team that compete at a very high level. You can't sleep on them. So you got to handle your business. And I'm actually excited to see Markelle Fultz for the first time in a long time. I know he got some run a couple games ago and he's been back, but I'm kind of excited. I'm happy for him to be back because, he's been through a lot.
Yeah, it's never fun when any player misses substantial amount of time for whatever reason, because, I mean, if you took something that you absolutely love doing and it was taken away from you for whatever reason, it's got to suck. And these guys, their whole lives revolve around this game and this sport, and it is their ultimate passion. So anytime that's taken away, it's unfortunate for those people and those human beings on that side of things.
DA's dropping 40 tonight, by the way.
40?
40. Let's go. 40.
You willing to make a bet on it?
I don't like betting on my teams.
No, not money.
What do you want to bet?
I don't know. Espo bet his beard.
Did he really? Is that why?
You haven't seen Espo since you come back?
No, I've seen that, but that's why?
Yeah. No, it was,
gosh.
he made a bet. Oh, gosh, I don't remember what
I thought he did that just because Chicago launched.
No, it was like 120 on something. 120 points. The Suns had to score when we played the Knicks. No, that was Friday. Trailblazers. There you go. Yeah.
He made a stupid bet on the Portland Trailblazers.
He bet himself. Because I wasn't even, but there was nothing on the line for anybody else.
Of course he bet himself.
He bet himself that if the Suns score 120 or more points against the Trailblazers, he would shave off his beard and rock a mustache for Friday's show.
Yeah, there's no fucking chance I'm betting the beard.
Okay, but
what
are you willing to put on the line for DA 40 piece?
Oh man, DA 40 piece. I don't know. I don't know. We'll think about that. I already owe you something on a bet, don't I?
Yeah, for Diana Taurasi playing.
That's right. Oh, we still haven't got there yet, though. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
It's not official,
No.
but she's practicing. She's there. She's gonna play.
Also, I hope Brittany Griner comes back in a safe manner.
Yes.
I do not feel good about that situation at all. It is very scary,
Mm-hmm.
and I am definitely praying for her because that is not somewhere you want to be stuck. Not right now, for sure.
Absolutely. All the thoughts, prayers, good vibes, everything.
Everything.
Put it all out there towards BG. Hopefully we can get her home safely and as soon as possible.
For real.
Because I feel so awful for her and her family.
She's one of the coolest people you could ever meet. She really is.
She's a very, very kind human being.
Yeah.
So just keep her in your thoughts and put out all the good vibes over there. Speaking of good vibes.
Sorry, I took a severe left turn there.
It's okay. Speaking of good vibes that we all need to be putting out into the world currently, Russell Westbrook took a moment to address some things that have been happening this season, mostly, but as he brought up, it's basically been happening majority of his career. So let's talk about it for a minute. First, we'll start with some of the things that he said.
It's very unfortunate. Like it's been like this for my entire career. I've been blessed, man, and super thankful for the ones around me and the ones that support me. But it's really the shaming of my name, the shaming of my character, the shaming of who I am as a person is, to me, is not warranted. I haven't done anything to anybody. I haven't hurt anyone. I haven't done anything but play basketball a way that people may not like. And this is just a game. This is just a game. This is not my entire life. And I think that is the ultimate thing that's been for me. And I don't like to harp on. I kind of one it out the other. But once it starts to affect my family, my wife, even today, my mom said something about it today, and it affects them even going to games. Like I don't even want to bring my kids to the game because I don't want them to hear people calling their dad nicknames and out of their names for no reason because he's playing the game that he loves. And it's gotten so bad where, my family don't even want to go to home games, to any game.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things to unwrap there. And the only reason why we bring this up is because I do feel like, even with the Kyler Murray stuff, there's so much hate, and it comes from such a nonsensical place. Westbrook talks about, like he's just playing a game, like, and it's just a game. Like, and I know a lot of people live and die with their teams, every single day, and they've got a vested interest on how players perform because they represent their team and all this other stuff. But at the same time, they are human beings. And the fact that you couldn't even take your kids to a game because people are so irate at your performance. And Westbrook has been awful this year. He has been not good at all. But like the fact that you would, tweet at his family members, at his wife, like there's a code in sports, like come at me, but never my family, because my family has nothing to do with me. Like on the court.
But even coming at you or the individual themselves, there's still a line, right? Like if you're talking about any sort of physical violence or anything of that nature over a game, you need to take a step back and have a hard look in the mirror and reevaluate where you are in life, because that is just unbelievably rude and unnecessary.
There's people that literally have, and this is such a small level, right? Here at PHNX, there's people that literally will go out of their way to try and trash people here at PHNX because they don't like the way they look, they don't like the way they are, they don't like the way they come across on their shows. Oh, they're a woman or they're a man, or like they have so much hate in their heart. And I'm like, what? Why? Like why? Like what is wrong with you to the point where you feel like you have to go out of your way to try and make somebody feel awful about what they're trying to do? And I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. Like, listen, I could sit there and be like, dude, LeBron was trash tonight. okay, if he was 0 for 15, he was trash tonight, cool. But I'm not going to go out of my way and say LeBron's MFer, he's a piece of crap, he should go die, blah, 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 because he had a bad game. Like, it doesn't, it's just so the extreme is, the pendulum is so crazy that some people just need to rein it in and really think, is this really worth tweeting sometimes?
Yeah.
And a lot of times it just isn't, man.
Well,
it's just,
I mean, I've talked about it on the show before, like, please don't at players and things of that sort, because I think sometimes we as a society kind of forget that just because it's done on a computer screen or on your phone or something, it doesn't feel as personal, or it feels like there's some sort of like a distance between you and the individual person. Yeah. But I would never tweet something that I wouldn't say directly to your face.
Yes.
And even if I would say it directly to your face, I still would consider tweeting it if it's unkind. Like, what is you got to think about, like, the purpose behind the thing that you're saying, right? Are you doing it from a place of, hey, this could actually help you get better or grow? Are you doing it from a place of, maybe you didn't think about this and it's something that you should consider? We all get angry and say things that we don't mean or out of tone or whatever. But I think with professional athletes and celebrities to an extent at sometimes too, we just forget that there's a real human behind the person who is doing the entertaining portion of the thing.
I've been really hard on Cliff Kingsbury because I felt like he has a lot to still prove. And everything I said on our show, on the Cardinals show, I felt like I would say to his face. And last week, I saw Cliff Kingsbury face to face. And I was in that situation and I thought, would I still tell him this if, like, we had this conversation, or if he asked me, what do you think about me coaching? Like, I would say, yes, I would. I'd be like, it still has a lot to be proven and it still leaves a lot to be desired. Like, it's okay for me to say that, but I'm not going to hide behind Twitter and be like, he's a piece of shit and blah, 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 blah. Like, there are people that literally do that. And I don't understand why. Like, what is wrong with your life, and why do you feel so empty that you have to try and pull down others to make yourself feel better? That's the line. Like, when I say DA was trash tonight, I don't feel good about that. I don't feel like, oh yeah, that made me feel better. I hope DA sees this and he feels like shit. Like, no.
Well, and the thing is that it's not to say you can't be upset with a performance or have some criticism towards someone's performance. Yeah. Even Russell said it himself. If you are talking about my game and I played poorly, fine. Criticism, absolutely. Constructive criticism, like things of that nature, absolutely fine. But when you take it beyond that is where the line is drawn. When you're attacking somebody's personality, when you're attacking somebody's character, who they are as a human being, that's a whole nother subject. Like, so basically, to put a bow on this, be more kind. The world could really use it right now. It always has, always probably will. But hopefully, if we make enough of a shift, it'll get to a point where the pendulum swings back to where it's all rainbows and butterflies, because Lord knows we could use it.
I don't know if it's ever been rainbows and butterflies, but
well, no, that's what I'm saying. We were here, and then it went all the way over here. Let's try and get all the way back to the other other side.
The great thing about this is that I did absolutely love that his son was, like, proud of his name. Like, that's a big deal. You know what I mean? And I think, from Russell Westbrook's perspective, he's like, you should be proud of your name. I don't give a shit if I just went 0 for 100. You should be proud, because you know what? I'm one of maybe 100,000 players
accomplished more than what
that
most people
have ever gotten to the NBA. Yeah. And he's an MVP. And he's made it to the NBA Finals. Like, he's had a legit career, and people have been dogging him since he was at OKC. And I haven't been like the biggest Russell Westbrook fan by any stretch of the imagination, but he's playing at a much higher level than a lot of guys ever have in the NBA. And you got to realize that. And he deserves respect. At least from a man-to-man or woman-to-man perspective, a human being perspective, he deserves respect for the individual that he is, even if you don't respect his game.
Fair. So, again, just be nice to people, whether you know them or not, especially on the internet, because that place can get real toxic sometimes. Yeah. All right, we are going to say goodbye. We will see you guys after the game right back here as normal. And just one more time, a quick reminder, we're going to be live at the Ainsworth in downtown Phoenix.
Come through. Let's go.
Tomorrow, the pregame show will begin at 5 p.m. We will be there before that.
Come have a drink with us.
Are able to join us, we'd love to have you. Again, that's tomorrow, 5 p.m. pregame tips off at the Ainsworth in downtown Phoenix.
The post
Okay,
games will be
bye.
lit.